Welcome to the Baseballer Show, guys. It's your 30 minutes of baseball bliss. I'm your host, DR. We got Bryce over here. We are ready to rip and roll. We got not our usual show today, guys. We are ripping all-star picks. No fluff, no bullshitting. Well, there'll be some bullshit. But it's going to be down to business for the most part. But let's rip and ride. How we doing today, Mr. Bryce?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Back in Virginia after a quick trip up north, ready to talk baseball, ready to talk a little All-Stars game, getting about that time. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's getting close, man. I mean, that's the only downside to this is like, oh man, like baseball's like half over. And that just hits me. And then you think about next year. Let's not do that. We're not doing that. I'm not doing that today. We are talking fun. Baseball. We have it for sure this year. Baseballer Blitz. Home run if you like it. Strikeout if you don't. We only got one question because it's all-star related. We are going to ask, are you a fan, Bryce, of fan voting?
I'm going to say strikeout, even though I participate myself every year. I don't like fan voting because it feels like, just the more popular players tend to get in, or the fan bases who dedicate the most time to it. I feel like the first flaw I ever really saw in fan voting, everyone knows where I'm going with this. Everyone remembers that graphic of the Royals. Like, what was that, 2014, 2015, where they just had everyone in the All-Star game? Like, we were throwing votes to Alcides Escobar at shortstop over there. I mean, no offense, no disrespect, but
Alcides, good player.
It's like a sub 700 OPS as your starting shortstop. All right. But so fan voting has obvious flaws. The more popular teams in the bigger markets are going to get more votes usually. I mean, we see this year it looks like Toronto's showing up in full force, voting for every player, even guys who played less than like 20 games. I mean, it's crazy. So I'm not a big fan of fan voting, if I'm being honest with you.
I mean, I love fan voting for the fact that it gets fans involved. I do love that. But giving them like full force doesn't make sense. This needs to be something where like maybe they get 20%, maybe they get 40%. But like when you give them full range of like, hey, go at it. That's how you get Alejandro Kirk being the second most votes for catchers. When there's been in the American League, there's been a lot of great catchers over there. A lot of people who deserve recognition who are not getting it because the fan voting. And it hurts because it's like, dude, could you imagine being a player like, I don't know. Let's just look up and down the list. You got Dylan Dingler having a great year. You have Ryan Jeffers having a short amount of time, but right now, like, for the time that he's played, amazing. Shea Langoliers, awesome. I mean, there's just guys up and down that list that should be getting like real recognition, but you give it to a guy who's had played in 11 games and has a 200 average with a 598 OPS. It's like, come on, like one home run. And again, that's not no shade on Alejandro Kirk. Like, he is an all-star level player, but like, this is the premise of what the problem is. It's like right now it looks like, if you, like you said, it's like, are you a Braves fan? Okay, sweet. You have a couple of your players that are for sure going to be in. Are you a Phillies fan? You probably have somebody in the hunt. It's just these large markets can take over.
Yeah. So it gets to that. I was trying to think of ways to fix this. I was wondering, could MLB maybe present like 4 or 5 candidates to choose from instead of basically like every team's second baseman being eligible? Maybe that would fix it. Maybe some type of like game threshold, or like you must play 30 games by the time it comes around to be eligible to vote. I don't know. I mean, maybe something like that. I'm trying to think of ways to fix it, but it's tough to let the fans vote and let it be perfect. I deal with voting all the time. It gets crazy sometimes. It does. I know. So I mean, I just don't know. I think it needs to be either done away with or fixed somehow. I don't like it.
100%. Can't agree more. But I guess it's time, dude. We got to dive right into it. We got to go position by position. So, guys, we're just going to start. I'd say we start catcher, go all the way through, and we're going to go back and forth on our picks and just talk and agree, disagree, whatever it may be, and kind of cook from there. So, let's start in the American League, okay? First, though, we have to thank our sponsor, Dabble. If you haven't downloaded Dabble yet, now is the time. If you play $5, you get 2026 for free, not 2000. $26, $20.26. Still pretty good deal if you ask me. The cool part is once you're on the app, you can actually follow us, copy every single one of our bets all throughout the playoffs, all throughout the regular season. It's the best DFS app out there. If you want to take more or less on a player's stats like hits, runs, RBIs, or homers, you can do it with us at Dabble. Make sure you download it using code BASEBALLER, BSBLR Baseballer. But Let's rock and roll. Let's start at catcher. Would you want to go first, or you want me to rip it here?
I'm gonna let you go first, though. So this one
Okay.
could be a little controversial.
Okay, so I have at catcher in the American League. We'll start American League. I looked at a lot of the names and I liked it. There's a lot of great players, but I think right now, first in the voting right now is Shea Langoliers.
Who's second?
Second is Alejandro Kirk, as we mentioned. I went with Dylan Dingler. And I'll tell you why. I'll give you a little bit of background why I went with Dylan Dingler. First of all, like if you just look at what he has done at the plate, incredible. I think when you look at a 2.8 WAR on the season, 18 homers. For example, guys, in 126 games last year, he had 13. At the beginning of the year, I picked him to have a really good year. Hey, when I'm right, I'm gonna let you know. I picked him to have a really good year. He's an 884 OPS right now, and he's playing in Tiger Stadium, right? In Comerica. Like, that's not an easy place to have power. And I think that was the problem that he had presented last year. But here's the thing that honestly, for me, separated him from Shea Langoliers was the defense. His catching is insane. He's the 100th percentile in framing this year. His blocks above average, 97th percentile. His pop time, 88th percentile. Like, when you're hitting 18 bombs at catcher and doing that, that's just what does it for me.
Yeah, I mean, so I grew up in these shows, where they would always have different opinions so they could debate, and it would be very heated. Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless. Unfortunately, Jared, that is not who we are. I also have Dylan Dingler
Love it.
as catcher. I thought this one was going to be one we were going to disagree on. I had you as Shea Langoliers for sure.
I look like a Shea guy.
I almost had him too, but I looked at that OPS. It's about 30 points higher at the time of this recording. That's enough to separate him for me. You mentioned the defense. I believe Langoliers has a bit of an edge in the WAR, but I mean, like, I looked at all the numbers, and Dingler just seemed like more of a fit. I bet Langoliers will still get in, even if Dingler, overtakes him. But either way, both are going to get in, I feel like. I came very close to casting my vote for Ryan Jeffers, but I believe he hadn't played since about May 18th.
Yeah.
I couldn't give it to him when Dingler and Langoliers have played full seasons. But if Jeffers had kept that going for this last month, he would have probably had my vote. But yes, so we both got Dylan Dingler of the Tigers.
No, I love it. I mean, for me, it really came down to the ballpark. I look at, like, especially with Vegas and where they're going to be playing, and obviously they didn't start the year there, but when they first started in West Sacramento, it was still like a jumping pad, right? Like, and I compare that to what Dylan Dingler's had to play with in Detroit, and it's just, I think that's the separator for me when you add defense plus the park factor that they've played at, and again, the OPS still shows and those numbers to me just was what stood out. So that's what we got. Let's go over to the National League. The National League, I thought the American League was tough. This was also tough a little bit, but even with the time that he missed, Drake Baldwin still looks to me head and shoulders kind of above what everyone else is at that point. I mean, he still has 14 home runs, and he missed like a month. He missed like a month. He has 14 home runs. He's just such a good player. Like, I know your best ability is availability, but even when he's missed time, his numbers still shine the brightest. Yeah,
I mean, so Hunter Goodman has 21 home runs right now. Liam.
Oh, shoot. My bad. I missed that one. But regardless, still.
No, Liam Hicks has 53 RBIs right now, and I still chose Drake Baldwin as well.
Oh, my gosh. Dude, that was a straight up miss. I just missed Hunter Goodman.
No,
man.
Hunter Goodman, 21 homers.
Yeah,
the thing about Hunter Goodman, 21 homers, 39 RBIs right now. That's very interesting. It's like every home run he hits must be a solo shot, but Coors effect might damage him a little bit. But he's a great player as well. I believe he got a nod last year too. But no, I also went with Drake Baldwin. I feel like he is just far and away the best catcher. Missed some time, but I looked at it and it was a little tough. But right away I was like, Drake Baldwin's my guy. So he was my pick. We agree yet again.
Yeah, not exactly how again, that was one where I was just going up the list and I completely missed it. I'm looking at it now. I'm going to still stick with that pick. I mean, obviously the home runs are what's going to stick out for Hunter Goodman, but when you look at the surrounding numbers, especially when let's go back to park factor, and not that the Brave Stadium it is at truest is the hardest to hit it out either, but when you play in Colorado, those big outfields, you have a pretty good opportunity of getting a lot of hits. 831 OPS, a 116 OPS plus versus what Drake Baldwin's done, and Hunter Goodman's never been really known for his glove. And you got Drake Baldwin with an 871 OPS and a 143 OPS plus, and it's the same amount of WAR, even though he's missed a pretty significant amount of time. So not intentional in how I did it, but I'm glad I stuck by it.
Yeah,
All right.
but I got to give a shout out to Liam Hicks for what he's done this
Oh
season
my
for the
gosh,
Marlins.
dude. RBI's like crazy.
William Contreras, he's always good for the Brewers as well. Another good season for him too. They're just not quite at that level for me right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, if I feel like if Drake Baldwin wasn't doing what he does on both sides of the plate, I think that's where it would be a little bit easier. But just overwhelmingly talented for. I mean, rookie of the year. Now you're seeing this. I mean, his career is going to be a crazy one.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. Let's go to first base. This one for me in the American League took me the longest time. I had to put him on Versus Finder and be like, okay, like which one do I really like? For me, I'll tell you this, the first overall, kind of the fan voting, the first overall is Vladdy Guerrero. Vladdy's not having an all-star season. Luis Ariz has the same amount of home runs as Vladimir Guerrero. I'm just going to say that. And Luis Ariz, pretty great player this year too. But regardless, I was firmly between two players in Ben Rice and Nick Kurtz. I mean, it is about as close as when you're looking at these two guys. I mean, the home run's close. The OPS close. They're not particularly great defenders. They both play at stadiums that are easier to hit home runs in. But for me, it really just came down to who's just having one of those electric seasons. And I think when I'm thinking about electric seasons, I'm thinking Ben Rice is giving me more of a feeling of he's just a little bit more electric, where Nick Kurtz is just, he's going to be a staple in these conversations for the next 15 years. And I hate to be like voter fatigue stuff here, and I think Ben Rice could be too, but Ben Rice is shot on the scene, being a big home run guy in that New York lineup. It's hard to play in New York. Is it harder to play in New York than Oakland? Or excuse me, for the Las Vegas, or the Vegas Athletics, whatever the hell they're going to end up being. I think that kind of edge got me in that direction. Nick Kurtz's on base percentage and probably quality might have been a little higher. His WAR has beaten Ben Rice, but I like to take a little bit of the narrative ball into this one.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Kurtz could easily be the all-star starter for the next 5 years, and I wouldn't be surprised. But for 2026, Ben Rice also has my vote.
We are.
And folks, if anybody's listening, we did not share who we picked beforehand, and I made these picks last night. I've got a screenshot. I can prove it. We are just on the same wavelength. Look, I looked at that Ben Rice OPS. How can I not give the vote to the guy who's got an OPS over 1,000? I know Nick Kurtz is close to in the 990s, 995 right now, I believe. But Ben Rice feels more like an all-star. I just had to go with what I feel. I look at the stats. They're basically the same. Defense can't really separate them. Ballpark doesn't separate them. Ben Rice feels more like an all-star. That was my thought process. There's not much more you can go on with these two.
It's tough. It's a tough one. That was the one I honestly was stumped on because it was about a coin flip. I'm like, Nick Kurtz, he might be the better player. But I'm like, Ben Rice is just having a season like that. So I just had to respect that. So moving on to the National League. This one honestly took little to no time for me. Matt Olson is just having an absolutely fantastic season over there, man. I mean, he's second in voting behind Freddie Freeman, but again, big market, Dodgers. And Freddie Freeman's having a good season in his own right. 273, 12 homers, 832 OPS. But Matt Olson right now, I mean, he's a Gold Glove caliber defense player too. So you're talking 271 average, 20 homers, 51 RBIs, and an 882 OPS. And that's leading anyone in the National League right there. And I went with him.
Yeah, not controversial either for me. I also went with Matt Olson. Shout out to some other guys. Bryce Harper's having a quietly good season. It feels like people don't care about how good he is anymore. But I mean, he is, and also sneaky on the Brewers. Jake Bowers of the Milwaukee Brewers.
He was a thought.
All-star vote.
He was a thought, man.
I did consider him. But Matt Olson, it got my vote. He should be ahead of Freddie Freeman. It's funny for all the things you can criticize the Braves however you want. I'm not sure they miss Freddie Freeman on the field necessarily. I mean, Olson stepped up. What he's done has been incredible. I mean, he's been just as good as Freeman. They're a bit of a different type of play style. Olson's more power, but it's been incredible. So he got my vote, especially over Freddie Freeman this year.
Yeah, no, and that's a great point. When you talk about that, I think that's a great thing to even look at in general is like how they have played And it's one of those moves where like you didn't expect it to really, you lost Freddie Freeman, a Hall of Fame player in every way, and a Braves legend. You're like, how do you replace it? Oh, let's just bring a younger, potentially better version of him there.
Yeah.
And like, not that he's been better. That would be a great argument in itself, but like Matt Olson has been everything and more that you could have asked for a guy at first base.
Yes.
And yeah, and just an incredible player, and he's having an incredible season. But good point with Bryce Harper, especially he's going to pick up some steam after this last weekend. I mean, he had a cycle. Sorry, I don't want to get it. I don't want to get into
the fifth inning.
The triple ruling. There's some screenshots. When I saw that, I just want to say when I saw that.
Let him have it.
This is my time to talk about it, Bryce.
Okay.
I saw it. If they throw that ball to third base, he's out by 40 feet. He's out by 40 feet. That's what I'm going to say. He's out by 40 feet. And then you're like, oh, well, maybe it wouldn't have been a good throw. If it wouldn't have been a good throw, it would have been an error and a double.
Oh, you're right.
It's a Phillies home cooking. That ball was in the catcher's glove before he was at third base on the throw home.
In 10 years, nobody is going to remember.
I know.
They're just going to remember that he had a cycle.
I'm just like cup half full or half empty guy, I guess. I mean, but Jesus, man. That was some Phillies home cooking. Take that screenshot, Henny. Take that screenshot of fucking Henny's our editor. Great editor. Thanks, man. But there's a screenshot where the shortstop's up like this, about to throw the ball, and Bryce Harper's like 7 feet away from second base. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me, man. Like, oh, I wonder where that ball game was played. Citizen Bank Park. Yeah.
Dude, if he would have gotten nailed on that, it would have been nothing but tweets about how selfish he is for going for the cycle.
I don't disagree with the move. I'm like, they're up like 10 runs. Like, you're going for a cycle. And then yesterday he was a triple away again. So he's picking up some major steam, and especially with a big market like Philly, I could see him jump up the ranks. But when you compare their seasons, Matt Olson 3.1 WAR to Bryce Harper's 1.8, every stat basically sways in his way. Not by more than you'd imagine. Only 3 home runs, only 5 OPS plus, actually a lower OPS, but Citizens Bank Park. So it's pretty close, but Matt Olson, elite defensively, on the best team in baseball. It just feels right.
Yeah,
so
100%.
So we're moving on now. Let's go to, let's do second base here. This was an interesting one. This one on American League and National League, there was a lot that I really was, especially in the American League. Especially in the American League, I was like, who the hell do you pick here? You're looking at the names.
I think we're going to disagree here.
Hey, is this our first one? I don't know, man. I don't know.
I went a little outside the box, I think. Maybe.
Okay. Then if it's outside the box, then it's not me. Here's the names that I was thinking of. So first of all, in the real voting, Ernie Clement is first right now. Ezekiel Duran is second. A name that was really coming to my head that I wanted to pick was Travis Bazzana, but it's really kind of like, did he just have a great game? He had a 4 for 4 with 2 homers, I want to say. But if you look up and down the list, I was in between another honorable mention. Chase Mydroth, I think, is having a really good season there. Just a scrappy player in Chicago. But I went down and I went numbers by numbers. Ernie Clement is actually having a pretty poor defensive year this year. And he's been on a team that hasn't really done it. I know he's batting .292 and he's got 7 home runs and a .751 OPS. Good enough numbers to be an all-star. But when you look at Duran this year, he's been better defensively, and he's just the super utility guy and he's playing in a park that's not easy to hit and hasn't been easy to hit in. So I went Ezekiel Duran.
Look, I love Duran, and I had his name clicked for a while.
Okay.
I did, but I did not pick him, so we did disagree.
Let's go!
I was like, what would be exciting? Like, Bryce, who do you want to see in the All-Star game? Because this, no disrespect to these players, this is not an elite group in the American League right here, a group of offensive numbers. It's not. So I was like, who is most exciting to you since nobody's really separated? I went with Travis Bazzana.
I want
to see him in the All-Star game. The numbers are good. I know he's maybe inflated a bit from that one game, but I still think he's talented enough to make an All-Star game this year. I went with who would be the most exciting and fun pick to see, and him over there at second base would be fun. So that's who I went with.
I love it. Now let's move on to the National League side of things. And again, like I said, I thought it was pretty interesting. When you look at this group, it's a lot more of a tough conversation and very interesting. So first of all, the first place person right now is Ozzie Albies right now. And second is Bryson Stott, which fan voting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Bryson Stott, for example, 236, 6 homers, a 682 OPS. And with the names that are on this list, there's a bunch that you could really obviously Ozzy Albies. One that comes to my mind that like hurt to not select was Luis Arias for what he's doing, batting 320 with 3 home runs and an 801 OPS. I think he just definitely has deserving numbers. Xavier Edwards over there, a 786 OPS, and just doing what he does. He's just a great player. I think he's a really underrated player in this league. Bryce Terang, 11 home runs, 823 OPS. JJ Weatherholt, maybe the best defensive player at second base, a 798 OPS. But I went with Brandon Lau. He's having a great year because here's the thing. We talked about at the beginning of the year. He's hitting a lot of home runs, but that's what Brandon Lau does. You can expect that. He's going to hit for a decently low average, 244 right now. But here's the thing about Brandon Lau. You expected him to be shit defensively. If you look at his numbers right now, he has been great this year. Very similar to Arias, where Arias is like, wow, oh my God, he's like one of the better players out there. Right now, Brandon Lau's outs above average is 96 percentile. He has a fielding run value of 4, which in his career before then was negative. It was a negative 21, similar to Arias. But that's where I look and I'm like, okay, he's improved defensively and he's got 18 jacks over there. That was my pick at second base.
Yep, Brandon Lau got my vote.
There's so many good names.
Look, this is actually a much deeper field than I thought. Before I looked at the list, I was trying to think in my head, who would I vote for? And a few names like Lau came up and Arias came up. But I didn't realize how deep this field was. I mean, there's some nice players right here. And they do all deserve love. But, I mean, Brandon Lau had to get my vote. Like I said, there's a lot of good players. Xavier Edwards, Ketel Marte's having a down year, but it still fits right in with this group, too, for what everybody else is doing. I mean, there's a lot of fun names, but I had to go with Brandon Lau. The chicks dig the long ball, and so do I.
Yeah, dude, I do. The long ball's sexy, man. But I mean, like when you add that up, like if I looked and I saw that he's just like atrocious defensively, it would have been probably a rise for me. Simply because, I mean, he's batting 320. But I was like, okay, he's good on defense. He has the most homers and the most RBIs at the position. And with the defense doing well, it's like that's, for me, that was enough. That was enough for me.
I love that Arias, that's not an empty 320 this year either. That's an OPS over 800. That's not an empty 320.
Yes, that's, dude. And that's where it's like sucks because I'm like, that's all-star season. If we're not looking at all of the other players in this, we're like, he should absolutely make it. As a starter, that's not our vote, but that's good for him. What a season he's having. We're moving on to third base. This one, again, another one where I was in both leagues. I really came down to I'm not sure who I'm going to pick type of stuff. First of all, the first pick right now is Junior Caminero in real life, not in just in the baseball or show life. And the second is Kazuma Akamoto is the second. Kind of interesting. He's got 16 home runs. You got to respect it, but which actually I think that's tied for the most at the position with Miguel Vargas. But that's speaking of that name. That was another one that came up for me. I went against the grain here though, because looking at Caminero, he looks like a pretty solid pick. 280, 15 homers, 857 OPS, and I was liking Miguel Vargas, 236, 16 homers, and an 818 OPS. And I know we like the long ball, but I went against the long ball here. I'm looking at what Josh Young has done so far this season. I look and he's batting 309.
Good pick.
He's batting 309, folks. Maybe I feel like I'm like a Rangers guy. I went Duran at second and now Josh Young at third. But he's batting 309, guys, where like no one else in this field is really even close to that. And with still an 825 OPS, I know he only has 8 homers. But for me, I just look at that. I'm like, that's a quality player. He's playing pretty good defense over there. When I looked at the defense of Junior Caminero and Miguel Vargas, Caminero is basically a DH. He's the first percentile in range over there. Miguel Vargas has been very underwhelming over there at third base this year. Josh Young's been at least quality. Has he been Gold Glove? No, but it's like quality with a 300 average and really doing it in the middle of the lineup for them. I'm like, that's my all-star.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I really do like that pick, and I thought about it, but I didn't think too hard about this. I went Junior Caminero. I thought fan voting pretty much got this right. I don't think, which you can't go wrong with a lot of these upper tier guys. But for me, Caminero, I saw the power. I saw the OPS over 850, and it's the All-Star game, so I did not give a shit about defense. If I'm being completely honest,
I get it.
If it was close, I would use it maybe as a determining factor, but for me, it just wasn't enough. But that's a great pick you had there too. A pick I almost made, but I did go with Junior Caminero.
No, you can't go wrong with it. I mean, he's a young cat who's doing crazy stuff, and that's the thing. Like, how many All-Star picks is he gonna end up in his career?
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing that I think when you look at him, you're like, oh, he's just like a grown man. You're like, oh yeah, was probably what, 26, 27? Nah, dude, he's 22.
He's younger than me.
22. He's 22, and he's doing what he's doing. I mean, you're looking at a guy with All-Star last year with what, 45 homers? I mean, at a 21-year-old? Come on now. So yeah, I'm not disagreeing too hard against it. That's not burning my bridge by any means. Shortstop. Again, this got a little interesting for me. American League. I'm moving over there first. Let me just pull up the shortstops here just so I have something to look off of. But
NL third base.
Oops, sorry. Oh, shoot, we didn't go NL. That's on me. NL third baseman. This one, I hate to just shit on it, but what a weak crop. What a weak crop over there. I mean, like, when you just look up and down this list, when you're like, I mean, Nolan Arenado has to be one of the better players over there with like a 703 OPS, 239 average.
Machado, man?
Dude, he had a big 3-run homer Saturday. Huge 3-run homer, but like, dude, like he was like, I think he might be still the lowest qualified batting average in the major leagues right now. So you can't pick him. To give you some sort of background here, first pick right now is Max Muncy, and second right now is Alec Bohm in the national audience. Max Muncy at 65, 16 home runs, 882, and I'm just going to save you the time of looking at these other numbers. There's nothing really close. This was won by like basically default. I just looked at all of the numbers here, and I'm like, you just can't not go there. He has 16 homers. I mean, no one else that I'm looking at here.
Shout out Curtis Mead, though.
You have Manny Machado, 13 home runs. Curtis Mead, 11 home runs.
With almost 800 OPS. I mean, I like, that's a decent season. Like,
see, you're trying to find any way to be like, hey, is there a conversation here? I look at this crop and I'm like, it's just a Max Muncy layup, in my opinion. So I went Max Muncy.
Yeah, I went in with him too. I mean, shout out Nick Gonzalez as well. 293 with a 716 OPS. It's not horrible. Not All-Star level though, but it's a lot of like decent starters who are not anywhere near All-Star level in this group. Like Max Muncy, he just had to be the pick. I mean, he's the only one that you can look at and be like, he's kind of elite this year. I mean, that's like, there's nothing else you can do.
There's not much else.
There's no conversation.
No. All right, shortstop, American League shortstop. This one, for me, came down to two names here. Again, there's been some quality seasons. To give you some background, Bobby Witt's number 1, and Andres Jimenez is number 2. Interesting. Jimenez, obviously great glove over there, but a 232 average with a 647 OPS. Doesn't really do all-star feelings for me. I went with Bobby Witt here, and I know he's hurt. I had a conversation in my head. I was like, do I vote for hurt guys? In my head, but I'm like, I can't punish a guy for having a really good season. Because I mean, if you just got hurt like in the last week, I'm like, okay, that's close enough. You're probably going to qualify in my head. And Bobby Witt's a generational player, and I know he's probably not absolutely killing it offensively the way you'd like him to, that he did maybe a couple years ago, but still 294 average with 10 bombs. And for him, it's not about just that offensive slash. He's a platinum glove defender, and he's the best shortstop in baseball. Yep. So when you put those two things together, I went with him there.
Yeah, Bobby Witt, cut and dry for me. Fan voting also got this one right. McGonigal's good with Detroit. Colson Montgomery's got 20 home runs right now with the White Sox.
Absolutely.
I just didn't see them as quite on Bobby Witt Jr.'s level right now. So, I mean, that was just my thought process.
And Colson Montgomery, for me, would have had a real shot at this thing, but then I learned about his runners and scoring position woes that he's had. Yep. And for me, it was like, okay, like, his defense has been really good too. So it's a really good defender with 20 home runs. He deserves some credit. Absolutely. But I just feel like Bobby Witt like deserves that all-star starter nod. He might not be starting there, and it could be Colson, but he deserves that nod. Moving over to the National League. A lot of good candidates here. There's some really good players in at shortstop, but you got first overall right now with CJ Abrams, second with Mookie Betts. It's fan voting all over that one. 674 OPS for Mookie Betts, 218 average. LA's doing their thing. I think I came between a couple here. I'd say this is a 3-horse race in my opinion with how I was looking at it. CJ Abrams, Ellie De La Cruz, and Otto Lopez. Otto Lopez, give yourself a shout out. 332 average, man. Unreal. Ellie having a really good year. He's kind of reinventing himself a little bit as less of a strikeout guy. And hitting a little bit better on both sides. 280 average. But again, the injury, that's just too much for me. CJ Abrams has just been he is the starter there. I think the fan voting's got this right. They got a 286 average, 17 home runs, a 901 OPS over there. I know defensively he's got some woes, but that stick is sticking.
I cannot believe fan voting got this right. I did not think the fans would show up for CJ Abrams, but I'm so glad they did. He's got my vote. Mookie at second. Come on, guys. Like, look at what Ellie's doing. Look, like, I know the injury, whatever. Like, come on. Otto Lopez should be second or third as well. Like, come on. This is where fan voting, it like angers me. It gets me worked up. I don't know, but at least CJ Abrams is ahead right now. He deserves it. Cut and dry. In my opinion.
Like, how do you look at Mookie's season and you're like, this is an all-star season? And Mookie Betts is a Hall of Fame player. He's an amazing player, but like, guys, it's the 2026 season, and I'm sure if you asked Mookie Betts, do you feel like an all-star this year? I'm sure you would probably get a pretty candid answer. It's because he just has not played like an all-star this season, but the LA is doing the LA thing. All right, let's move over to the outfield. The outfield. This one got me. Obviously you have to think. You have 3 picks here. I'm going to give a couple of honorable mention shout outs. Randy Arozarena having a really good season out there. Sam Antonacci, again, a lot of these White Sox guys are really in this hunt of like, wow, they deserve some recognition, and he's having a really good year out there. He's quality at bat. If you just watch him out there, very quality. One more. I think Cody Bellinger deserves some shout outs. Jack Caglione, like, really good. Boogie Cortez in Oakland, really good season. There's a lot of good stuff here for me, but I just went with 3 just dogs. Byron Buxton is a slam dunk. I mean, he's just having an incredible season out there. 25 homers. OPS in the 900s, incredible. And then I went with 2 hurt guys simply because their season is all-star enough for me. Aaron Judge and Mike Trout. I tried to talk myself out of it, but I just looked at all of the numbers and I'm like, they just have been better, and I just couldn't go against better. And it kind of frustrated me because I'm like, I know they're hurt, they're not going to play in this thing, but they're all-stars.
Dude, we have the same American League outfield.
I get it.
They're the best choices. I don't care who's hurt. They're the best choices.
They're the best choices out there. All right, let's move to National League here then. This one, I know you said it was like the toughest one for you when we were talking a lot of trouble. I mean, if anyone watches this show at all and they know what I'm about to talk about, it's PCA. I mean, that guy's one of the best players in baseball. One of the best players in baseball. I'm a Cubs fan if you know me, but he is my absolute selection out there. I think there's a lot of good names, but I just went with star power. I could talk about the honorable mentions all I want, but I just went with star power. I know Juan Soto missed time, but what he is doing right now, guys, is absolutely fucking insane. He's an incredible player. Everyone's always gets paid too much. Guys, when he is right, he is just the most professional at bat in baseball. Just taking walks, not swinging at balls. And then when you give him something, he launches it. James Wood, my 3rd pick. I mean, just crazy out there. Stop. Do we have the exact same?
I got PCA, Soto, and James Wood.
Damn, you're like, I thought about it a lot. I just went, mine was cut and dry. I just was like, I thought about it. I was laying last night in bed, and I'm like, who am I going to go with here? And I just like, PCA is undeniable. It sucks because it's like Andy Pages deserves. He should be in the All-Star game, and he's the first overall pick. He's the first. I gotta
tell you,
in the national audience.
What pained me was to keep Jordan Walker out. I wish he was in the American League so bad. So
he's been great.
I hated not being able to pick Jordan Walker. I just couldn't. His season's just not as good to me. It's just not.
I mean, who do you put him over in the 3 that we have? Do you put him over PCA? It's like, okay, PCA that you need, in my opinion, you need a center fielder out there.
Yeah, so I wanted a true center fielder. James Wood to me was untouchable. Like he's
Yeah,
He's having
he's having a
phenomenal
better.
year.
He's having again. You can't put him over James Wood. You could put him over Juan Soto, but I'm like the numbers that Juan Soto's putting up right now. It's they're very all-star. He's batting 3. Again, he missed time. I know he missed time, guys. But even with that, he has the one less home run than Jordan Walker with missed time. One less home run, and he's not like a home run guy. But he's batting 301 with 17 bombs, 38 RBIs, and a 973 OPS. That's 100 points higher than Jordan Walker. For me, it's just like that is just undeniably better. And I mean, there's lots of good candidates in there. Again, like I would love to have Pages out there because of his defense, but PCA has cleared him over the last couple of weeks. He just has clearly cleared him. Brandon Marsh, I would love to give him some love.
Ooh, that hurt.
But he had been platooning for a majority of the year. Can't do that. I mean, that's just Michael Harris. Been awesome.
He's so good.
But I think
so
PCA
good.
clears him. I just think he clears him. He's just and Michael Harris is close, but I just think PCA is just more of an electric player. And with the lineup that the Cubs have, he's not as protected as much. Yeah, it's just those are my 3 picks.
Well, DR, it's good to know me and you have very similar baseball minds, I guess.
Yeah. I guess let's move on to DH and talk about this for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Because like these are absolute just
You could make me a semi-controversial NLDH case, and I might listen. I might.
Yep.
That's about it.
It is. I mean, but just you're right. Okay, let's start in the American League. You're right. Let's start.
Do we even need to talk about it? Like,
okay, this one's a fucking layup. Like, come on. I mean, look at the names here. The next, Yandy Diaz might be.
He's a great player.
Yandy Diaz is a great player, but he's not your dong.
No,
your dong is number one in everyone's minds when it comes to MVP right now. 322 average, 25 homers, 56 RBIs, a 1.068 OPS.
Can we can we take a minute and shout out Dominic Canzone though, a 915 OPS with 12 homers?
Yes.
So I had to real quick. I just had to.
Yeah, no, like these guys deserve it. But like when it comes to I mean, Yandy's been great. Canzone's been great. Yordan has been otherworldly.
It makes me sad to see these other guys get passed over, but it has to be that way for the All-Star because like these guys with like 880 OPSs, I'm like, no, they're not even close for me. Like,
not deserving. I'm gonna have you tell me your NLDH because I want to go off of you on this one.
Shohei Ohtani. I just couldn't. Schwarber is the one where you could talk to me.
Yes.
And I almost did it just to do it because I just watched that 3-homer game. I almost did it, but I had Shohei's historic. He's gonna be there one way or another. Schwarber's gonna be there one way or another. So I felt like my vote didn't really matter, but I went with who I thought was best.
This one's just hard to beat, and I'm right there with you there. It's Shohei Ohtani, because again, the numbers aren't gonna stack up because you got a guy who's going to be, it doesn't value Shohei entirely because if we're just going by offense, absolutely, but you have to value the two-way there. You just have to value the two-way. I know it's for the DH, and you should just be looking at DH stat lines, but like it's different. Maybe if you put him as a starting pitcher, maybe it's how you do it. But the thing is at the end of the day, it's like who would you rather have there starting in the All-Star game? Kyle Schwarber, obviously, 29 home runs now. Is that what it says?
Crazy.
29 home runs. Like his season,
he should be there.
He should be there. He should be there. You're right. There's a case, but when it's like. It's Shohei Ohtani. Like it's just got to be Shohei Ohtani. Like Kyle Schwarber's putting together, like it could put out together a 50 home run season, and it still should be a no-brainer to me that he's at DH because of what he provides. You're talking about a guy with a sub-1 ERA or like around a 1 ERA right now, who's also the OPS leader or one of the OPS leaders in baseball right now. Like you got to put him there. I don't care what Schwarber's doing.
No.
All right, guys, that is it. We got our picks. I mean, after looking at it, pretty similar. This wasn't very. Maybe we should have looked at this beforehand and gave you the whole Stephen A. Smith. We should have given you the whole. Oh, make sure everything's all against each other. But hey, guys, these are our honest picks. Everything that we just researched, we went into it with our own real opinions and. A lot of similarities. I'm trying to think the only differences we had the entire
second base,
third base, right? Because I had Josh Young.
Both in the AL, I believe.
Both AL, because I think I want to see. Was our
I think
NL?
everything else was the
NL
exact
was our
same.
NL the exact. I think I went. I'm just
You had
going off the top
Lau.
of it.
You had Lau at second.
Yep,
You
I had
Muncy.
so we had catcher Baldwin, first
Yeah.
base Olsen,
Yeah.
second base Lau,
Wow.
third base Muncy, shortstop Abrams, outfield PCA Juan Soto, James Wood, DH Shohei. Was that identical?
Yeah.
Identical. All right, AL was different because I had AL catcher Dingler. We went Dingler. Rice was the same. Duran was
I went
Bazana, so that was different. Young, and then who'd you go third base?
Caminero.
So those were 2 differences. Then from there, I think it's all the same. Shortstop Bobby Witt.
Yeah.
Outfield Byron, Judge, and Trout. And then obviously Yordan. So we had, of the potential 20 picks, 2 of them were not the exact same.
there's so many positions. I feel like it happens every year. Like it's just cut and dry. Like how every year, like it was Pujols at NL at the first base. Like it's like Jeter at shortstop, in AL. Like there's years, it's just cut and dry for periods of time.
There's some of that. I think there was some really good in betweens there. But again, I think it comes down to our point, the fan voting. Sometimes I just disagree with it. Like how I think we were probably on with the. I would like to take a look at what the absolute results are right now, but they're probably very different than what we got.
Yeah.
And obviously ours are very similar, and not saying that we're right, the world is wrong.
Yeah.
but I would imagine a lot of baseball figures and baseball people in the space that we're in would probably have more similar to us than it would be of America.
Without a doubt. I mean, look at like Kirk at second. I mean, and that's no disrespect. He's been hurt. He hadn't even played 20 games this year. Like,
what are we talking about?
Yeah, like that's just where fan voting really gets me.
All right, gang. So I lied to you. I said 30 minutes of baseball plus. How about 41 in 15 seconds? How about that? You like that? You like that? Make sure you guys follow us on social medias. Follow us on Spotify. Subscribe on YouTube if you're watching us now. Other than that, guys, we will talk to you soon. Peace.